So Kid and Play, of course, is a legendary hip hop group. They
Mm-hmm.
made it onto Billboard's top 50 hip hop groups of all time,
That's right.
which you and I talked about. We did a segment about this in May, kind of leading into Black Music Month. And now that we know the number one group, Sir Daniel and I want to play for you our predictions for the number one hip hop group. And then we are going to show you who actually got it. So we're going
Mm-hmm.
to go in the Wayback Machine, as we sometimes do at Q Points, play you what we said, and then let's talk about what happened. My prediction for the number one hip hop group is
Mm-hmm.
Public Enemy. I think that they will take the top slot.
I will surprise you and say that my number one pick is going to be A Tribe Called Quest. I think that there's some people, especially me being here in Atlanta, I know some people would probably be like, well, how could you say that? OutKast is clearly going to be number one, which I'm not doubtful that they would be I wouldn't be doubted if they're in the top five, quite
Yeah.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I would not doubt that, but I squarely believe that A Tribe Called Quest has had such a impact on a generation. So I was almost right. I
Mm-hmm.
almost got it. I was this close. But I really did I mentioned who the winner is. But J Ray, let's go ahead and talk to the listener about who is actually number one. And number one, I was right there. Number one is of course OutKast, and I'm not mad at it.
No.
There's a reason why I said OutKast could possibly take number one, and they very well did take the number one spot on Billboard's top 10 hip hop groups
Yeah.
ever.
You know what? Not at all mad about this selection. Big Boy and Dre literally hunched the South on their backs after standing up at the Source Awards in 95 and said the South got something to
That's
say.
something to say.
They
Absolutely.
literally took us up in a spaceship for like the next 7 years with classic after classic. And they changed the game for what hip hop sounded like and looked like. Can't be mad at it.
Cannot be mad at it. And what I've always loved and appreciated about OutKast is they always remained hip hop. They stuck to the core and the elements of hip hop. They studied the craft. They knew everything that it took to be an MC. Those two are actual MCs.
Yeah.
And they prove that time and time again throughout their track record. So shout out to OutKast making the number one hip hop group of all times for the top 10 hip hop groups according to Billboard magazine.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, let's take a look at who's coming in after that.
So
At
number
number two,
two, of course, Wu
Wu
Tang.
Tang. Wu Tang. I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
No.
Think about it. They're like the first hip hop supergroup,
Yeah.
and they spawned like several successful solo acts, duos, and they always came back together to perform together and to create records together. So Wu-Tang is definitely for the kids and for forever.
Absolutely. I nothing else to add there. Wu Tang, number two. Number three, NWA.
I think it's so hilarious that Too Short is in this
Too Short.
picture.
They didn't even put Ice Cube in this picture. So there's
And
no
that's not
Yella
even
and there's no Yella, there's no Rand. Like, I don't know.
that. As a matter of fact, that's that comedian T.K. Kirkland, I believe that's his name.
Yeah.
That's a comedian. So that's wild. But no, NWA, for better or for worse, definitely made a huge impact on the culture.
Yeah.
And that's what I could. All of these groups shifted the culture in some form or fashion.
Yep. Let's take a look at number four. We'll do a couple more. There you go,
Okay.
Sir Daniel.
So my pick made it to number 4.
Yep, your pick made it to number four with the Tribe Called Quest. Let's see who's at number five. Number five, one of the most legendary hip hop groups. We talked about them during our fashion
Fashion,
conversation. We'll
absolutely.
make sure that we drop that in the chat. We had a great conversation talking about how Run DMC pioneered a new look for rappers at a time when rappers weren't looking like them, and two, pioneered endorsements. Look at all this Adidas they
All
rocking.
that Adidas, absolutely.
You have to account for for Run DMC actually bringing that to the forefront. So not mad at it.
Not mad at it at all. So thank you, Billboard magazine, for putting together a group that we don't completely disagree with.
Because we often disagree.
We often find faults and flaws with some of the listings, but this was a solid listing. Some honorable mentions. My girls were on there, Salt and Pepper, but I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
you know, they deserve to be there. And
Yeah.
to their credit, like nobody else has been hip hop wise, rap wise, has been able to come along since then. I mean, maybe now, maybe the City Girls at some point will be able to get on lists like this. Maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But Salt and Pepper definitely made some pretty big shoes for the ladies to fall into, to
Yeah.
follow.
And even my group Public Enemy, if we had gone to number 6, Public Enemy is
Yeah.
at number 6. So yeah, Billboard actually did the thing. I can't even, I have nothing to argue about. I'm curious. I haven't looked at the Twitter today. I've been busy doing other stuff. I don't know what people are saying, but I'm good with this.
It's the usual Black Twitter conversations about people's top fives. You're not missing anything. It's pretty much the same conversation, but everybody has, listen, there's one thing about it. Hip hop groups, hip hop lovers are always going to stand 10 toes down for their group. They're
Yeah.
going to ride for their group no matter what. And it's, this is coming on the heels of such a almost said a fantastic evening, but it was pretty long. But the BET Awards, for better or for worse,
All
gave
4
us
hours of them.
all 4 hours of it, gave us a great glimpse into hip hop's past and its future, and gives us a reason to get on here every Thursday and drop a new episode for you guys.